Yes, hello. Welcome back to Random Fact Friday, where the facts are random. My name's Master 101.
My fact sheet thing is still crashing.
Okay, well it can
I
keep
find it from
it can keep crashing on your end. Today we're playing One Step for Eden. I've never played this game
you
before. What? We could talk a little. Are you
I'm like, hey,
implying?
I'm having technical issues. You're just like, well, fuck you.
First random fact. I have a fat ass.
Okay, I got one to work.
First random fact. Did you know that Taco Cat spelled backwards is still Taco Cat?
Second random fact that there is, there was a recent study done where they had people do sort of a game because it wasn't like actual berries they were harvesting. Um, but they had a group of people go to a like field and they were doing a mock thing where they were gathering berries from various bushes. And I think the berries were just like fake and just put there. But they had two groups, one that had like attention deficit disorder
Mm-hmm.
and one that was like the control group. And the people with attention deficit disorder consistently gathered more berries than the non attention deficit disorder people.
Mm-hmm.
Because the control group typically would go to one bush and then they try to gather all of the berries that they could see off of that one bush. Whereas people who typically had attention deficit disorder, now there's like exceptions for each group, but people who tend to have attention deficit disorder would jump between bushes after they grabbed all of the ones they could easily reach.
Oh.
And in turn, ended up gathering more berries because they went to more bushes.
Honestly, that makes a whole lot of sense.
So there's a decent amount of evidence in various forms that like being not neurotypical is more like hard in the modern day than it was historically. In some cases, like if especially if you go far enough back where you're just like either you're just entering agriculture or you're doing hunter gatherer
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle.
Well, even now I can kind of like feel it, if that makes like at the job that I do, there's a lot of like putting like product back in the wall, or like bringing product forward. So like when I like look in the understock of things and I don't see anything, it's like, well, I can't readily do this right now, so uh, let me like come back to this later, and then I skip forward. And okay, not necessarily that. I'm just trying to make connections.
Hmm.
Oh god, this is.
In other news, Alabama ruled that life begins at fertilization
Yep.
and made it so that in vitro fertilization is illegal
Yep.
because it's considered a human being.
What the fuck is wrong with all of you? Let's go down this way.
We're all looking at
I think a Republican just needs a Republican. Nope, that was stupid.
and deadly because they will try and kill you.
Uh, I have contagious syphilis. Yes.
Not just syphilis.
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I know what syphilis is. But you might know what syphilis is. Ooh, it's a boss. Did you? I already said. Did you know Taco Cat is not necessarily a cat nor a taco?
Is that like one of the only facts you know
It's the only palindrome I know.
about Doggo God?
Yes. Yep, that's my phone going off for some reason. Did you know that Girl Scout cookies are neither made of girls or scouts?
Tell me more.
No.
Why?
Because I just don't feel like it.
Why must you fail?
Because I'm not good at improv. I might have taken one improv class back in
That's more improv than I've taken.
shoot, die, kill. I mean, how much improv could you really say you've taken? You play D&D. That's 100% improv.
How often do you play D&D?
No. You play D&D, which is honestly the most base form of improv.
How often do you play D&D?
At least twice. Stop roasting me. How many times do you play D&D?
Then get out of the rotisserie. Casey Paul is an Indian man who has spent almost 40 years trying to prove that the sun revolves around the earth. He has not been successful.
This poor man being wrong all the fucking time.
Claude Ruggieri was a pyrotechnician in Paris, France, who developed and wrote about innovations of fireworks designs, including the basic rocket.
That sounds fun.
He also built several balloons and was famous for supplying a lot of fireworks for Bastille Day.
Oh.
Clutter used rockets to transport living passengers aloft and parachutes to return them safely to the Earth. As early as 1806, Ruggieri sent mice and rats up in rockets, recovering them for the use of parachutes.
Oh.
He also sent a sheep about 600 feet up into the air, bringing it back down with a parachute. As a result, Ruggieri is credited with being the first person to use rockets to carry living creatures. In 1830, he attempted to use a large cluster of rockets to lift a child, a young boy at 11, to test it. The plans are made for him to ascend from the Champ de Mars. However, French authorities intervened and canceled the flight, apparently due to the child's youth.
Are you telling me that there were safety concerns?
Yep.
Wow, that's insane.
95% of serotonin in the human body is produced in the gut.
Oh, is that why I get so happy when I eat?
Paralyzed by the legendary Stardust Cowboy is one of the few songs banned by NASA on the International Space Station.
Hmm.
Nightshade is a free downloadable tool created by computer science researchers at the University of Chicago that is designed to be used by artists to disrupt AI models by scraping the training data on the artworks without consent. That scraped training data on artworks without consent. Nightshade literally poisons the generative AI models.
Hell yeah.
Tennessee produced more soldiers for the Union Army than the rest of the Confederacy combined, and more soldiers for the Confederate Army than any other state besides Virginia.
Hey, you know what they say? You're the only 10 I see. Get it?
Scientists in Antarctica have set up a rugby pitch to play when they want to relax. They have set up teams of American and New Zealand researchers to compete each other for the Ross Island Cup, and New Zealand has won 26 years in a row.
That's hot. Oh,
Brains of rats have a random mode that is switched on when they are in unfamiliar situations.
so they have a hashtag silly mode?
Yep.
I love that.
The blazon of the European flag is described as this. On an azure field of a circle, 12 golden mullets, their points not touching.
Or like Asserfield, am I right?
Sure. The HMS Victory, which was most famously commanded by Horatio Nelson at the Battle of Trafalgar, has been preserved as a museum ship and is also the world's oldest naval vessel. Although the USS Constitution is the oldest commissioned ship still afloat.
Hmm.
The big box store concept was pioneered by the Rhode Island-based Ann and Hope retailer. Kmart and Walmart founders, along with others, borrowed features for their own stores.
Gross.
So I know who to kill.
Well, can you really like blame a person who got their shit stolen from them? Essentially.
Turkey rejected a seriously entertaining proposal for the European flag that had a cross and golden circle over the blue background, citing religious associations.
Hmm. Hey,
It
remember when
seems
you
they're the
made it?
only real non-Christian state. You were saying something?
Remember when you like not commission a flag, but like put your 2 cents in for somebody to build? Which state was it?
I want to say Minnesota.
Yeah, yeah. How
No,
did
was
that?
it?
Oh,
Yeah, it was Minnesota. So Minnesota ended up going with a really boring design.
I mean it's
It's
Minnesota.
a
What were
state
you? What were
government.
you expecting?
Hang on, I'll Google it. Minnesota flag winner. Yeah, so the literal winning flag of the more than 2,600 submissions is a white star on a black, like a dark blue background, and then
Oh.
a lighter blue, like chevron.
You know. Actually, no. I'm not even gonna say what I was about to fucking say.
This is the one that won.
Pull it up on my phone. Oh, that is boring as hell.
Yep. Because why not?
Yeah. Well, actually, why not is a Pokemon. What sort of Pokemon? I don't know. Not a really good one.
I was a baby.
Well, I'm also talking about like Wobbuffet as well. Because do you look
Isn't
at?
Wobbuffet supposed to be like a punching bag?
I get yeah, he kind of has all the abilities that like that are supposed to.
Ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh crap. Okay, how do you play this game?
In 2011, a writing candidate for a Board of Education election needed one vote to win, that she lost because she thought her friends and family would vote for her. They didn't, and she was too busy at her son's baseball game to vote for herself.
Damn. Trust no one, not even yourself.
The stuff between Kit Kat wafers is crushed up Kit Kats that didn't sell.
Hell yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
The price of a single day ticket to Disneyland has more than doubled in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I can see that.
In Halden Prison in Norway, the guards are encouraged to interact with, uh, talk to, and even dine with inmates. This is to prevent aggression and create a sense of community, despite it being a maximum security prison.
Hmm.
The Muppet designers use different sized pupils depending on how young or old they want a Muppet to look. The smaller the pupil, the older the Muppet. The larger the pupil, the younger the Muppet.
That makes sense.
The opening crawl to Star Wars is a storybook-esque narration, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, because George Lucas first imagined his films as stories being told by an ancient race of immortals. The immortals were written out of the early films, but this vestige remains.
Well, to be fair, like if you just went into like what's the word? Into like Star Wars by itself without like knowing what the fuck's going on in the first couple of scenes, you'd be confused as hell. Like with like the first three movies.
Hmm. That's one of the things I like the prequels. I'm a bit of a prequels defender.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there are parts of the prequels I would have changed and would have redone. I think Grievous should have had a bigger role because I really like Grievous. But I think
Mm-hmm.
my biggest issue with the prequels is that they should have been written in a way that you go in and you watch them and you can watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in order.
Hmm.
But if you try and do that and you've never seen Star Wars before, the prequels spoil A so much, and B there's a lot of stuff that doesn't really mesh well, and like it's very much made 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wish they were kind of made in a way that you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Um, uh, Now I don't want to really necessarily use this example. What's a few examples I have? Um, with The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, you can watch The Hobbit and then watch The Lord of the Rings, and they somewhat flow into each other. Not well, but they somewhat flow into each other. Now, granted, that's mostly because the last Hobbit movie sucks, but
Yeah, I was promised a scene where Smog was Raw Dog and the Bilbo Baggins, and it didn't happen. And I was like, the fuck?
But like, if you're gonna do a prequel, I think that you should have it be that you can start the series with that movie and then go from there. Like if you're
Yeah,
gonna marathon.
yeah, I get that. It makes sense.
I'm gonna open up a private tab because I don't want this on my Google tracking data.
He's
Um,
talking about porn.
best prequel films. Uh, no, that's Star Wars again.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, The Godfather Part 2 is pretty good.
More God, less Father.
I wouldn't necessarily consider the Puss in Boots movie to be a prequel. It's more of it's like its own distinct thing.
Yeah, no. Puss in Boots isn't a prequel. It
It's listed as like best prequels of all time in a thing I'm saying.
they're wrong.
What the fuck is Cube Zero?
Oh, that's a prequel for the film Cube.
Oh, what the fuck is Cube?
Cube is Cube is a 1980s sci-fi horror movie about a group of people who are stuck in a, um, a maze in the shape of a cube, and each room has some sort of fucked up crap in it. Like literally the first scene is a guy like stepping into a room and then getting like literally cubed into meat chunks.
Hmm.
It is really good though. It kind of pioneers the what's the word? The uh what's the word? Uh the like the escape like the death game genre.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like, yeah, it's saying like the best prequel is like Godfather Part 2, and it's like, yeah. Although apparently The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a prequel.
What is Godfather even about?
The mob.
Uh Sounds scary.
Stop telling me Cruella is one of the best prequels of all time. I
Oh
do
my
not.
god.
I could not give less of a shit
About
about Cruella.
it's
I guess
I
yeah, Indiana Jones: The Temple of Doom is a prequel to like the Lost Ark, but I don't like Indiana Jones: Temple of Doom that much, except for Short Round. Short Round's awesome. Uh,
I Disney really let it go to their head that people like villain origin stories, and it's like, yeah, because Maleficent. What's the word I'm looking for? Maleficent was a character that I don't like. Like you didn't get to know her a whole lot, you know. Like you just know she had beef with the fairies and the king and queen, and she was willing to kill a child over it.
yeah, her. And the thing is, like, I'm not trying to defend Maleficent too much, but like, judging by the vague rules of the fairy court, by inviting the good fairies but not Maleficent, you've kind of offended an entire section of the court.
Yeah, you pissed off the Sealy Fae. Like no,
Yeah,
you pissed off the unseelie Fae. R.I.P. to you guys, but like
like I obviously like I don't know the story dynamics, but like had they chosen to either not invite the good fairies and not invite Maleficent, they probably would have been fine because it would have been like, okay, so it's just a moral thing. Or
Yeah.
if they had chosen to invite both of them, they probably would have been fine.
Also,
But they picked a side.
also, Aurora probably would have gotten a cool ass like dark power from Maleficent.
What is
Like,
good about the ugly proposal?
uh, I don't know.
Okay, so it is a prequel to A Fistful of Dollars.
So again, how does Akka play this game?
What are you playing?
East of Eden. It's that weird, like, I don't, what's the word? It's a weird Mega Man, like, Battle Network-esque game, uh, where you're, like, on a battlefield and, like, you pull cards and stuff.
A U.S. Air Force veteran posing as a Guantanamo Bay inmate for a training routine was beaten to the point of serious brain injury by guards.
Holy shit.
Life expectancy and birth average are only about 10 years for most of human history.
Let me move.
Codependency is characterized by sacrificing one's personal needs in order to try and meet the needs of others, and associated with passivity and feelings of shame, low self-worth, and insecurity.
Oh shit.
Um, Days are getting longer. During the Mesozoic period, each day was about 23 hours.
Hmm.
During during the emergence of photosynthesis on Earth, each day was only about 18 hours.
Honestly, that makes sense. You would need to
Because
reprogram.
our rotation is slowing. What were you going to say?
I thought the plants were involved in some way. I was wrong.
YouTube has only paid Rick Astley $12 for his hit song "Never Gonna Give You Up," despite having the video having uh, over 100 million views.
Oh, I would be pissed off.
What you know? It's kind of telling about the current state of the internet and late stage capital as a whole is the once iconic cultural trend of rickrolling
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work because of unskippable ads.
Yeah. I don't wanna.
Oh, and then final fact is Uri Geller Nation is offering citizenship if you pay him $1.
Oh, interesting. Oh yes, good boy, everyone.
Boy.
Why?